This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time. All in one place, all on your terms. Hello there everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today I want to talk about adapting spells. In the last video we talked about casting spells and everything that goes into casting spells, and in continuation with that, and in the second to last video on my series on Spellcraft, it's time to talk about adapting spells. There are many different reasons why somebody would want to adapt a spell, and I highly recommend adapting spells to beginners. You will come across many pre-written, pre-worked spells on my channel and by many other people who practice the craft. These come in specific styles of preparations, with specific ingredients, timing recommendations, and use cases. And while they typically stand as powerful spells on their own, they also serve as a fantastic baseline guide to new spells. Adapting spells allows you to make spell work that is more tuned into you, your practice, your environment, what you have easy access to, and honestly, what your intentions are specifically. Pre-written spells are very valuable, but they are usually written to that person's specific needs. And as we are each individuals, taking the time to adapt a spell to better suit our needs is a valuable skill and something that can help us to perform more potent and powerful magic in the early days of our crafts. The video that I will be posting after this one will dive into writing your own spells and completely crafting them from scratch, but this step in between taking a pre-written spell and adapting it is a powerful means of not only understanding magic and creating powerful magic, but also learning what works best for you and figuring out how you best want to create your own spells in the future. So this is a very valuable skill and something that is pretty straightforward, and I'm excited to dive into it with you. But before we do, this video is sponsored, so let's hear a little bit more about that first. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace domains make it easy to find the best name for your business at one fair, all-inclusive price. No hidden fees or add-ons required. Every Squarespace domain comes with advanced privacy and security tools included to ensure your domain remains online and protected. Plus, Squarespace provides everything you need to bring more of your dreams to life, whether that means building a website or adding a professional email service. Squarespace also makes it easy to create members-only content for your community. Monetize your content by selling access to online courses, blogs, videos, and memberships. Start with a full customizable website and earn recurring revenue by gating your content behind a paywall. Simply set the price and choose whether to charge a one-time fee or subscription for access. You can also make smarter business decisions with Squarespace's intuitive built-in analytics tools. Review website traffic, learn where to focus engagement, and track revenue from bookings, invoices, or product sales, all from one place. So if this sounds interesting to you, go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/thegreenwitch to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring, and let's get back into it. Alrighty, welcome back. As we know, this series follows along with my book, The Green Witch's Guide to Herbal Magic, and if you are hoping to follow along on this section in the book, you can find it on page 168. A frequently forgotten aspect of spellcraft is a spell's malleability. Every spell shared in my books, on my channels, everywhere is able to be adapted and changed. And this is true for a majority of spells shared elsewhere as well. There is often room to change any ingredient and even the style of preparation of a spell being worked. Typically this is done to suit needs or circumstance. Often I will shift up ingredients of spells because I want to work with herbs that are either in current abundance due to seasons, or I want to work with herbs that I have at my fingertips. Adapting a spell is a highly intuitive process and also a very practical one. Making changes to spells is reflective of your own individual path, and as you continue to alter spells, it will become second nature and really begin to highlight areas of practice that you excel at and really are attuned to, which ultimately will begin to serve as foundations for spells that you will craft yourself. So as we know, there are many different reasons why you may wish to alter a spell. First, I want to talk about preparations. A good example of a preparation that I talk about a lot that is easily shifted are ones that rely on smoke and fire. These include preparations like incense, burning herb bundles, or even candles. If you are in a living situation with pets or people or yourself where smoke is not helpful or safe for that environment, maybe you are renting and they don't allow any fire. This limits your ability to craft spells that call for that style of preparation. But simply looking at the preparation itself and how the energy is supposed to be released, we can see some alternatives. In these examples of spell preparation, they're meant to burn and release smoke into the air and fill a space with energy that way. There are other means to do this. One of my favorites is a simmer pot. It similarly releases steam instead of smoke to fill the air. You can also do a spray bottle with water or simply flick infusions around. You don't necessarily have to change the ingredients that you're using to shift these preparations. You're simply shifting the style of the preparation. And this can be true of any preparation. If there is any style of working that you feel would better suit your needs, say a spell bag versus a spell jar, they're both containers, both ways to carry or hold something. They can very easily be exchanged. Or maybe you are working with something that is meant to be an infusion, but you want it to last a little longer. So doing a tincture or an oil as opposed to an infusion and a decoction would allow those ingredients to be preserved and the spell to last longer. All of these things are intuitive and really common sense. Think about how the spell is meant to be worked, the reason why this preparation was chosen, and how you may best work that purpose into something that better suits your needs. Now, the only place that I would say there is an exception to this malleability is in the form of medicine or food, anything that you are ingesting. It is important to take care, and if you are making a medicinal preparation that is also tied magically, the methods of extraction for medicinal compounds vary depending on herbs, and so there are times where one preparation is necessary. But when it comes to something that is wholly energetic, the shifting of preparations is pretty straightforward. Beyond shifting the preparation of a spell, you may also wish to shift ingredients, and I feel that this is perhaps more common than preparations, honestly. You may wish to shift ingredients if you want to work with the seasons, or if you maybe don't have the same ingredients that other people work with, or you want to be working with herbs that are growing in abundance around you specifically. Those are all very important aspects of my own craft, and so I am frequently shifting my own spells to match what I have growing in abundance. There are many different ways to do this, and it can be as simple as you would like it to be and as complicated as you would like it to be. The example that I gave in the book is about a prosperity spell that calls for sassafras. Personally, I really enjoy working with sassafras, but it is not a very common ingredient that other people may be working with, and it is kind of a unique prosperity herb. Now, if I give you a prosperity spell that calls for sassafras and you wish to change that ingredient, but you still want it to be a prosperity spell, the quickest fix is to change it to a different prosperity herb. In this instance, we are looking at the intent of the spell and choosing another herb that aligns with the intent of the spell. In the book, I give the examples of basil, blackberry, goldenrod, clove, and mint. All of these are prosperity herbs that tie very strongly to prosperity and would work well as a substitution for sassafras. However, if you wish to delve deeper, you can. Every herb ties to specific energetic alignments. These are gender, element, and planet. I have talked about this before, and if you dive back into this series, you will see more conversation on this. But each of these energetic alignments tell us kind of the personality of the herb and how it will act in spell work. So if you wish to shift an ingredient in a spell and wish to find a perfect energetic match, kind of these signatures that are well aligned to each other, you can choose to do that. Maybe you want just one or two or all three to be the same. So sassafras is a masculine herb that ties to fire and the planet Jupiter. And there's only one other herb in that list of other prosperity herbs that ties exactly to all of those same energetic elements, and that's clove. So clove would make the most compatible exchange here if you want the spell to perform almost identically. But sometimes you may not want the spell to perform identically. You may want it to act a little swifter, so maybe choosing something that ties to air. Or maybe you want this prosperity spell to bring prosperity not only in a financial way, but also maybe in a more personal friendship way, and choosing an herb that ties to Venus would be a better choice there. I feel that adapting ingredients of a spell is a better way to shift the inflections. There's a lot of spells, especially for protection, that can be worked as a very strong barring force, but you may want protection that is a little more thoughtful. So choosing herbs that are known to be a little bit more motherly and compassionate in their protection, over something that is strictly fierce. So something tied to feminine, water, Venus would be a very strong, motherly ferocity herb choice that will protect you in a thoughtful and compassionate way, whereas something that is more fierce and hard and rigid in its protection would maybe tie to masculine fire Mars. So taking the time to study the energetic alignments of herbs and make shifts and choices based on that is a powerful way to adapt spells more to your liking and to suit your needs. Again, it is important to be careful when altering edible spells and make sure that you choose herbs that are edible and safe to use in these styles of preparations that you are seeking to. And this goes for any preparation. There are some herbs that are not safe to burn. For example, poison ivy. Personally, I don't work with that ever in magic, but I certainly would not be burning poison ivy. Or if I'm making a chamomile sweet roll, I definitely don't want to put foxglove in that. Edible preparations should not be changed out with poisonous herbs, and that's common sense, but sometimes it's important to think about and just mention. But all in all, adapting spells is a very important skill in witchcraft, and it's something that is incredibly straightforward, but can also seem kind of intimidating. I think it's important to remember that there are no wrong steps here, no missteps. The worst thing that's going to happen is nothing, as long as you are very conscious and careful of the edibility and medicinal value of things, and perhaps not burning poison ivy. But shifting ingredients is something that should really only enhance the spell that you're working. It gives you time to connect and think about it more, and choose elements of spell work that align better to your practice and your personal styles. So whether you are changing the preparation or the ingredients, it's all very straightforward, very intuitive, and something that you can do as simple as you would like or as complicated as you would like. And either way, it will have a potent and powerful outcome. So I hope that you have found this helpful. The next video in this series will be the final video, I believe, and that video will be on crafting your own spells from scratch, something I'm very excited to delve into, and this whole series has built up to it. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you can and would like to, I'd appreciate it if you checked out my Patreon. There I share more art, herbal profiles, book recommendations, and monthly workshops. I also have another channel where I share more day-to-day life, more magic, herbalism, all of those good things. And I also wrote my book. So if you're interested in any of this, it's all linked in my description down below. Thank you again for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Bye.